Welcome to the Butte County Pool. Drowning is one of the leading causes of death in children. That includes summer and winter months. Whenever you go to a pool for the first time, an ocean, a lake, a river, the first thing you have to do is look out for hazards. At most swimming pools, there's two main hazards you need to be concerned of. One is the shallow end, and the other one is the deck surfacing. Federal law regulates that change rooms, which you can see behind me here, are always at the shallow end of a pool. That regulation has been in place since 1956. So you can be fairly certain when you walk in where the shallow end and where the deep end is. But for a hazard's sake, you must always take note of it and at the varying depth throughout the pool. At this pool, we start at 3.5 feet. Our deepest point is at 6.5 feet. So diving, no matter where you are, is a special concern. Another hazard that you have to look out for, no matter which body of water you're at, is swimming ability, whether it's your swimming ability or the child's swimming ability. I've brought what have started to become puddle jumpers with me. These are become very popular with parents and their children. They fit around their arms, across the chest, and buckle in the back, and they are a great flotation aid. But whenever you buy a flotation aid for yourself or your children, it should come with a booklet. This little pamphlet dictates what type of flotation aid that you have bought. There are 4 different types of PFDs that you can get here in the United States. In Canada, and I know in Britain, there is a difference between what they call a life jacket or a PFD, a personal flotation device. In the US, everything is called a PFD, but they have types 1, 2, 3, and 5. A type 1 PFD has the highest possibility of rolling you face up and should be used on non-swimmers and weak swimmers exclusively, especially in boating and all swimming areas. The better the swimming ability, you can start using a type 3 or a type 5 PFD, which is guaranteed to float you, but it will not necessarily float you face up or face down. It is also against the law to sell any flotation device without that booklet, so you can know what type of flotation device it is that you're buying. There are different concerns, whether you're going to a lake, a pool, a river, and you have to take note of that. When you go to a river or a lake, the first thing you need to pay attention to is the surface. It is a rocky beach? Is it a sandy beach? If there's a dock, the varying height of the water can change. So you need to test that out every day. You don't assume that yesterday I dove in off the dock and the water was deep enough, that today it will be as well. So you need to slow down, slip in, and make sure the water is still deep. At all public areas, you run the risk of glass or sharp rocks being in the water. Ocean areas, you have to be aware of tides and where the water level is versus where it was the other day. Keep in mind when you're outside, especially when you're in the water, you might not necessarily be aware of how hot or cold it is because of the water temperature. It could easily be 100 degrees outside, but you're in the water and you're cool, but your body is still losing a lot of water, so you have to keep hydrated. There are traffic to be aware of with boats and other people around. If you are swimming, there might be a non-swimmer beside you that might latch onto you, and you have to be careful of that. So it's always wise to keep that safe space around you so you don't run into people. One of the things that us as lifeguards like to say is personal safety first. And that might sound callous, especially if it's your child that you might need to go in the water. But like on an airplane where you put on your face mask first, you have to make sure that you always have a flotation device with you. Now, if your child isn't in a life jacket or a PFD, you want something to separate you. Pool noodles have become good for that, and they're easy to grab onto for a drowning child. And one of the things we say as a lifeguard is reach, throw, row, go. So your first level of safety is where you can reach to a person, and a pool noodle you can reach a lot further than with your arm. Then you would row. Not a lot of us would have a boat and take the time to put the boat in the water, but that's your second option. Then you want to go to rescue your child. And when you go, you always want to take something with you, preferably a life jacket, but anything will help to create that distance between you and your child. There are 2 websites that are really helpful for more information. One is the US Coast Guard. that has tons of information on PFDs and water safety, and another is the Red Cross of the USA. Thank you very much for your time.